So okay. All right, so we'll get started in just a minute. Okay, so if this is our third lesson, today we'll be learning about the basics of persuasive writing. So let me just get my lesson plan ready and we'll start. So today we want to be learning the important parts of persuasive writing. And I've got a handout to demonstrate that. But before we do, who can tell me what they remember about persuasion? Who can remember something from last lesson about persuasion? So what is persuasion, guys? Very good, Alexander. So persuasion is convincing people with good reasons. And what are we trying to convince these people of? There are two things that we can try to convince people of, and what are they? Who can remember? Who can remember about what the two things are? We can try to convince people to believe our ideas, or we can convince them to do what else?
To make them agree with our ideas.
Very good. So we can get them to believe our ideas, or we can get them to do something we want them to do. Good. And what are some of the techniques that we used, that we watched in that video last week, or on Monday, sorry? Can anybody remember? There were things like repetition. We had alliteration. And rhetorical questions. Did we watch that video of some of the important techniques that we can use? Do we watch that video? Okay, terrific. So we also had metaphors. We also had, what else did we have? We had emotive language. So we have all of these different techniques. We're going to go over them at some point in the future, but we have all of these fantastic techniques that we can use to make our writing more persuasive. So we can do number one by using number two when we're doing our writing. So first of all, I'd like to show you guys a little document that I made up, and then I've got a couple of examples to have a look at and analyze. So here is the document. So the basics of persuasive writing. So these are the key parts, the really important parts that we need to make sure that we include every time that we're writing persuasively.
Hello, teacher.
Hello, Ram. Welcome to class. So today we're learning about the basics of persuasive writing, the really important things that we want to make sure that we include whenever we're writing something for persuasive reasons. So the first thing that we need to do, and any of you that attend any of my debating classes, you'll recognize some of this similar to the teal paragraph structure. But if you're not in any of my debating classes, don't worry about what I just said. So the first thing we need to do is we need to have a statement of position. And this is important because this is where we clearly state our viewpoint or our opinion on a topic. We need to make sure that it is very clear and very concise. So that means everybody needs to be able to read it and understand it. And it needs to be short and right to the point. No confusing, no mucking around. So an example of a statement of position could be something like, I believe that our class should have a longer recess. So it's a short sentence, and by hearing it or reading it, you know what it means. Next, Next, we want to include reasons. So our reasons are important because these are the arguments that we use to support our decision or to support our point of view. They should be logical and strong. So by logical, it just means they should make sense. It shouldn't be something easy and selfish. It should be a strong argument that anybody that reads this piece is going to agree with. So an example of a good reason would be a longer recess would give us more time to relax and recharge, leading to better focus during lessons. So we're making a very strong case for why we should have a longer recess. Next, we would be looking to provide evidence. And evidence is important because it includes facts, statistics, examples, or anecdotes. And anecdotes are just personal stories, things that have happened to you that you can use as evidence if it relates to the topic you're talking about. And of course, we need to make sure that they back up our reasons. So our evidence needs to support our argument. And evidence is also helpful because it makes your argument more convincing. If you provide evidence, people are going to believe you more, or there's a higher chance that people will believe you. And finally, we have I should give you an example of evidence. Studies have shown that regular breaks can improve student concentration and performance. And now finally, after we've given our evidence, we need to give our conclusion. And this is where we're going to restate our position and summarize our main arguments. So this is important because over this bit of text, you might forget some of the arguments that were made. So this conclusion just gives you a chance just to remind your reader of everything you've said. So it restates where you stand on the issue, and it reminds them of the main arguments or the main reasons why. And if the situation needs it, you can also include a call to action. So a call to action is, well, you'll see it in the example here. So my conclusion will restate my position and summarize my arguments. Therefore, extending our recess time is a beneficial move for our learning and well-being. Let's propose this to our principal. So our conclusion here restates our position. So let's extend our recess, and it summarizes your main arguments. So what was our main argument? A longer recess would give us more time to relax and recharge, leading to better focus. So it's beneficial for our learning and well-being. More relaxed, better focus, better results in class. And then finally, here's our call to action. Let's propose this to our principal. So a call to action is where you ask your reader to do something. So do you need them to propose this idea to the principal? Do you need them to, I don't know, do you need them to sign a petition to get something done that you want done? Whatever you need, you can make that your call to action. And you see that quite frequently in YouTube videos, wherever you see a YouTuber saying, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more updates. That's a call to action because it's asking you to do something. Okay. So now we have an example of a piece of writing here. So we've got our statement of position. We should have a pet in our classroom. Reason 1, a classroom pet can teach us responsibility. We provide evidence for the reason. Taking care of a pet requires feeding, cleaning, and attending to its needs, which are all aspects of responsibility. Reason 2, interacting with pets has been shown to reduce stress and anxiety. Evidence for reason 2. Several studies suggest that the presence of pets can help lower stress levels. Conclusion. In conclusion, having a classroom pet has numerous benefits for us. From teaching responsibility to providing emotional comfort, let's discuss this idea with our teacher. So this example has all of the sections that we just talked about, and it even includes a call to action. in the conclusion. So let's discuss this idea with our teacher. That is our call to action. Okay. Before we go on now to have a look at some examples of persuasive writing, do we have any questions about what we've talked about so far?
No, teacher.
Very good. Very good. So let's take a look at persuasive writing example number 1. Okay. So there are a few added sections in this in this piece of writing. So we've got a few sections here that weren't there in the basics, but they're just things that we can add to make our persuasive writing better. So first of all, I'll introduce this section up the top here, and this is what we call the title. So this is letting you know what this whole document is about. What are you about to read? It introduces the topic. Why we should have an extended recess time. And next, this right here, this is a little trick or technique we can use. It's called a rhetorical question. So a rhetorical question, if we remember from that video on Monday, a rhetorical question is a question that you ask that you don't need an answer to. It's a question that you ask to get your audience thinking about things. So every day we look forward to our recess time, right? Well, yes, we do. So it's one of those questions that everyone's going to agree with, but it gets you feeling a bit excited and like, yeah, I agree with that. What next? And now, what is this called? This section here that I've put in brackets. What's that called? What was the first section of a piece? Or what was the first key section of a piece of persuasive writing? What was that called? Or what did it do? Very good, Kathy. Statement of position. So this says, I believe that our class should have a longer recess. Short, straight to the point, everybody can understand it. I believe that our class should have a longer recess. And what about this next section here? What's that called? What's this called? The second brackets here. I've underlined the key word in this sentence. What part of the persuasive writing is this? So we've got our statement of position, and that is usually followed with Very good, Caden. With our reason. Very good, Ram. That's our reason. And here, this is just another little trick that we can use, except it's not a question, it's a rhetorical statement. Because the vast majority of people that read this document, they say that after all, everybody needs a break. That's just there to make people go, yeah, I do deserve a break. I've been working real hard. So it's designed to get people thinking and excited about what they're reading. Now, what is this? So we've gone from our reason. What comes after our reason? What do we need after our reason? What do we need to give to back up? Very good, Alexander. We need to back up our reasons with evidence. So, very good, Albert, Aurea, evidence. Now, this is a little bit of a cheat. This is a little bit of a cheat answer. But this actually combines two things in one. What two things does this combine? What two parts of our persuasive writing does this line combine? Very good. It combines a reason with what? No, not a conclusion. That comes next.
It is with more time for the favorite outdoor game.
Very good. Crystal, correct. Reason with evidence. And the type of evidence that this reason has given is an example, because it's giving us an example of the things that we could do with our longer recess. So another reason is that we could have more time for our favorite outdoor games. Very good, Aurea. And finally, what is this?
Teacher, I need to go to toilet.
Okay. So what is this final line here called? Oh, there we go. Very good. That is our conclusion. Well done, Alexander. So now, so this is our conclusion. Now, a little bit of a trick question for you, or a bonus points question. What is this conclusion made up of? So we've got the first part, which is Don't mind me as I just squiggle on the screen around nothing in particular. What is the first part of our conclusion called? Very good, Jack. It's a rhetorical question. Plus, and what do we call this? When we ask our audience to do something, what do we call this? Call to action, Kathy. Very good. Fantastic. So in this particular, very good, Caden, call for action. So in this particular piece of writing, our conclusion was made up of a rhetorical question and a call to action. But our conclusion can also be made up of other things too. All right. Let's have a look at one more example of a piece of persuasive writing. That's it, call to action. So let's go from the beginning. What do we call this bit up the top here? Very good, Caden. That one at the top is the title. So just like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is the title of the book, Why Our Classroom Should Go Green is the title of our document here. So same thing. Now, what do we call this? No, that's not the position statement yet, because it isn't telling you what it believes, or it isn't telling you its opinion. It's asking you a question though. So what kind of question might this be? Very good, Caden. Rhetorical question. Very good. Now, what's this? Good, Alexander. Good, Albert. That was a rhetorical question. What about this new line here? What is this telling us?
Where teacher, I can see. I can see.
Who can't? I don't know what to suggest because I think everyone else can see. Hang on, I'll reshare my screen. Hopefully this fixes it for you, Rum. Okay, so first up, let's go back over this. Have our title. We have a rhetorical question. So what are we up to now? What's this? Very good, Alexander. This is our statement of position. Okay. So what do we come to next?
Its reason.
Very good. Very good. So this is our reason. Rather, this is our reason. Very good, Aurea. So yes, rhetorical questions can be very useful. So we've got our reason over here up first. And then what about this second sentence here? So this is evidence, but what kind of evidence is it? So what is this evidence giving? If we can learn how to recycle, save energy, and reduce waste, what is it giving you?
Me. It giving we more plant and can mean cleaning air.
Not quite action evidence. It's
Oh,
giving.
It giving that a green classroom in healthier. Yeah.
It's giving examples. So it's giving us examples of what we can, it's giving us examples of things that we will learn about taking care of the environment. And now this, what's this? It's more evidence. I'll give you that much. What kind of evidence is it? Albert, so the statement of position, is the part of your writing where you let the audience know what you believe or what opinion or point of view you are trying to get across. So in this document, the statement of position is, I believe it's time for our classroom to go green. So this person is writing to their classmates to try to convince them to go more environmental in their classroom. So the statement of position is where you let your audience know that you believe it's time for the classroom to go green. So this type of evidence, we could call facts. So there are many schools that have gone green and they have seen a decrease in their waste and an increase in student environmental awareness. So they're asking it in the form of a question, but they're presenting a fact. So something that they've gone and found information on, and then they've written it into their document here. What is this? Very good, Jack. That is reason number 2. And finally here, what's this? No, not the conclusion yet. What's this one? Very good, Alexander. It's an example. So it's our evidence. It is an example. By the way, guys, of all of the skills that you'll be learning from me, I really hope that your handwriting isn't one of them, because as you can see, my handwriting is atrocious. So what do we have here? What is this? So what's the first one? The first set of brackets on the bottom line. What's that? This one here. Very good.
Chapel.
Very good. And what is this second set of brackets here? What's this one? Very good, Kathy. A call to action. Very good. Very good indeed. Oof. That was a really good effort, guys. Now, okay, so we are now going to spend a few minutes coming up with a persuasive argument. So, first of all, let's brainstorm a topic. So who's got a good idea for a topic that we could write a persuasive piece about?
I think I want the topic to be about a vote against protecting the ocean.
Protecting the what, sorry?
Protecting the ocean. Teacher might show.
Okay, so our topic is, so do we want to protect the ocean or do we not want to protect the ocean?
It's against anyone else. Because anyone gets if they want to protect it or not.
I want to protect the ocean.
Okay, very good. So we have our definitive stance. We should protect the Ocean. So, first of all, let's have a think of all of the possible, all the possible parts of a piece of persuasive writing that we can think of. So what are some of the things that we remember seeing in those examples we just read? So the first thing we always saw was a title. Then how did it usually go? What usually came next after the title? Who remembers what we usually saw next? Good. We had a statement of position. Very good. And what else did we have? Very good. There was usually a rhetorical question.
A reason.
Very good. We had reasons. Very good. So we've got rhetorical question in there already. So we've got a reason. What else do we need? What other parts of this do we need? Very good. We need evidence. And what else do we need? Very good, Jack. We need a conclusion. Now, with this type of a preposition or a presupposition, maybe, depending on which part of the language you're talking about. So, with a piece of persuasive writing like this about we should protect the ocean, can you think of anything else that we might need in our conclusion? You think of another part of this document that we might need?
Call for action.
Very good. So we might like to include a call to action. Very good, guys. So we see here that just in thinking about all of the parts of even those simple pieces of persuasive writing, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll go further and add in one more. We might need rhetorical statements as well. So there's 8 different things just in these basic examples. And sometimes we have reason, evidence, rhetorical question, reason, evidence. So there's even more parts to it as well when you add in doubles. So very good, guys. We've come up with a bunch of good ideas. So debates are fun, especially when you're very well prepared for them. Just getting rid of all of this and then we can get to work. So first of all, we need our title. So what could the title of our document be? What could the title of our piece be? So maybe something like why it's important to protect our ocean. So nice eye-catching title, why it's important to protect our ocean. So what's the next thing that we should write here?
I know.
What's the next thing that we should write?
Why we need to protect the ocean.
Okay, so
Teacher,
yes.
do we write the evidence and post it into chat?
Not just yet. Let's go through this section by section. So I think the first thing we need to do is, should we write our statement of position first, or should we maybe start with a rhetorical question? What do you think would be better? What do we think would be better, guys? A rhetorical question or straight to our position of a statement of position?
Is we write or set or statement? We write the statement.
So you think we should go with our statement of position first?
I think
Okay, so
no.
what could so if our topic is we should protect the ocean, what should our statement of position be? So we need to let our audience know what we agree with or what we think. Who's got a suggestion? So our statement of position needs to let everybody know. It's not too hard. We just need to think about it a bit. Very good, Alexander. So Alexander just sent a message that said, because the ocean is nature's largest lung, if we don't protect the ocean, the environment will be in big trouble.
I
So
know.
that's our statement of position right there.
We need to protect the ocean because when we don't protect the ocean will be done clean. Then we don't have the water to drink in the others sea
Very
anymore.
good. Very good. So we need to protect our ocean so that we can protect all the animals that live inside it. Very good. So let's have a think. Our statement of position could be, get rid of that because we don't need our topic anymore.
Teacher, where
So
is
why it's
everyone
important
else?
to protect.
Teacher,
I
where is
don't
everyone
know.
else?
Usually they just hang out
Teacher,
off
where is
camera.
everyone else? They disappeared.
Usually they just hang around off camera for some reason. I don't know. I just assume that they're there doing their work. So our statement of position needs to let our audience know our opinion. So we need to protect our environment. Not our environment. That's the reason. So we need to protect the oceans. So next, to get our reader a bit more invested, wow, Alexander's coming in hard with the evidence. So from here, maybe we could put in a rhetorical question. So something like, we need to protect the ocean. Don't you enjoy looking at the beautiful coastline? So we've got our statement of position. We've got a rhetorical question. We need to protect the ocean. Don't you enjoy looking at the beautiful coastline? Now we can go into our reasons. So because the ocean is... So don't you enjoy looking at the beautiful coastline? If... All right, someone help me out here. So we need our first reason. So our reason is if we don't protect the ocean, it could have very hazardous effects on the rest of the environment. So if we don't protect the oceans, we could we don't protect the ocean, it could have a disastrous effect on the rest of the environment. So it sounds like, Alexander, with that last evidence that you sent through, that if you don't agree to protect the ocean, it'll also make global warming worse. There's another good argument. So, do you enjoy looking out at the beautiful coastline? If we don't protect the ocean, it could have a disastrous effect on the rest of the environment. This is true, but for this exercise, we're not actually picking something we necessarily agree with. We're just picking something that we can put together something with all of these techniques. So we will go over this a little bit in our next lesson. But for now, your homework will be to write two examples. Two example pieces of a persuasive text. I'll send through that. I'll send through that document that I showed you in class, the important parts of a piece of persuasive writing. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Well done.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye, teacher. See you on Monday.
Thank you.
Goodbye, teacher.
See you on Monday, everybody.
Goodbye, teacher.